Good evening. On behalf of the Board of Education, I bid you welcome. And I thank you for coming this evening to give the Board of Education and the central administrators an opportunity to personally thank you for the service that you have rendered to our community over the past many years, and for the commitment to the children of Cherry Hill. And that commitment and those services are in a full range of services, ranging from readying the school for the students, to transporting the students, making the fields ready for play, assisting, supervising, and teaching those students. And we thank you for your commitment over the past many years. Today I looked at the thesaurus and looked up the word commitment. There are many expressions that they offer. The promise, making a promise and fulfilling it, an undertaking, a word of honor to do one's duty, a marriage. Commitment and marriage reminds me of a day in the life of St. Peter. It was a day in which he was expecting 3 gentlemen to come to the gate, all of whom had been married for some 25 years or more. And as the first gentleman approached, he asked him a series of questions, and at a certain point, he asked him if he was faithful to his wife of those 25 years or more. And the gentleman looked at him almost indignant and said, "Why, of course, we had a wonderful relationship. We weren't just husband and wife. We were lovers, and we were very best friends. I was totally committed to my wife. We had a wonderful relationship all those years." And St. Peter said that was very commendable. And for his use, while he was in heaven, he had the use of a brand new white Mercedes. And with that, the second gentleman came to the gate. And St. Peter again asked him many of the same questions. And when he got to the question of, were you faithful to your wife of the 25 years plus, the gentleman began by saying yes, and then halted and said, "Well, there was just one time, St. Peter. It was a long, long time ago. I was a very young man. My wife and my family were away for the summer. It was a 1 week. It was no commitment. She meant nothing to me. I was committed all those years to my wife. We had a wonderful relationship, and I loved her very, very dearly." And St. Peter designated him to the standard shift Chevy. And as the third man approached, St. Peter asked the same question. And the third gentleman said, "Well, St. Pete, I'll tell you. I figured I was going to go through this lifetime only once, and I was going to take advantage of every opportunity that came my way. And I did, and I had a ball. That's not to say I didn't have a strong commitment to my wife. I loved her dearly, and we had a wonderful relationship, but I enjoyed myself also." And St. Peter just kind of shook his head and said, "There's your bicycle." Well, it wasn't many days later that the third gentleman was riding around heaven on his bicycle, and he saw the white Mercedes parked along the side of the road. And the driver was sitting there with a very long, glum face. And the third gentleman on the bicycle rode up to the car and knocked on the window and said, "Say, chum, what's your problem? Here I am on a bicycle, and I'm having a good time up here. Things couldn't be better. And I can't imagine why you and your brand new white Mercedes aren't having a good time too. Why are you so down in the mouth? Why such a long face, chum?" And with that, the gentleman said, "I just saw my wife today on roller skates." Now, for the remainder of your years, you can make any commitment that you wish to. We on the board just hope that it's a very rewarding retirement for you and that you enjoy it in the very best of health. And Dr. Asbrandt now has a few remarks to make.
Good evening, everyone. Retirees, employees, relatives, and friends. I'm happy to share with you the excitement of honoring so many outstanding Cherry Hill School District employees who have served up to 34 years in our district. We appreciate your contributions. Our district and our children are better off because of them. You will be missed. Among you 50 retirees, there's over 1,000 years of experience in Cherry Hill. The current quality of our school district would not exist without your growth in knowledge and skills over those years. Today, operating schools is a much more complex process than only a few years ago. Complicating changes, of course, have not only affected the schools, but every other business and institutional concern as well. For instance, 30 years ago, the Air Force needed a large cargo plane, and it put out a list of specifications that took less than 8 pages to write. Lockheed Corporation responded with a proposal that took up only 3/4 of an inch report. In 1980, 20 years later, when the Air Force needed another cargo plane, it issued specifications which took up 2,570 pages. And in return, Lockheed's proposal weighed 6,600 pounds. To deliver the proposal from Lockheed to the Pentagon, they used one of their old Hercules cargo planes that was designed 30 or 20 years ago. So in 20 years, the process became much more complex. Same thing has happened in education. None of our bid specifications or proposals have gotten that large, but everyone has felt the growing infringement upon our job responsibilities of the requirements that come from the state and elsewhere. Other adjustments you made to these infringements, but others were made because they were based on your insights and those insights of those around you to help the school district and you and the children achieve greater successes. Your retirement means you have reached a certain experience level, but also certain achievements and satisfactions have been accumulated as well. When I spoke at my father's retirement dinner, where he was honored for his 43 years of service to the Procter & Gamble Company, I kind of teased him and reminded him of the times that he said that the company was headed for trouble. The quality of the newcomers to his areas of responsibilities frightened him. He said that it takes a while to merge knowledge, attitude, and effort, which are needed to produce quality results. His approach is reflected in the following story. The story is about a businessman in his mid-60s. He was attending his last international business conference before retirement. He had not achieved the success level he had dreamed about. He dreamed of becoming the CEO and chairman of the board of the corporation that he worked for. But he demonstrated a technical knowledge, a creativity, and an important, dependable work ethic which helped solve problems and inspire others to achieve personal and company goals. At the conference, he was surprised at the responsibilities he was given. Toward the end of the workshop sessions, he was approached and asked if he would give the keynote address at the dinner meeting concluding the conference. At the dinner meeting, our friend was very nervous. He had never addressed the major leaders of the Fortune 500 companies before. It was an honor he wasn't sure that he deserved, yet it was on a topic that he knew very well. After being introduced, he addressed the audience somewhat hesitantly, but soon he was into the material based on his experience, and he relaxed a little. And as he spoke from his heart, the conference topic dealt with organizational practices that he endorsed. He became enthusiastic and inspired his audience. At the conclusion of his presentation, he received an enthusiastic applause, and he took satisfaction in seeing that his doubts in himself were unfounded. After the speech, a young, exuberant, recent MBA graduate ran up to the podium and congratulated the speaker. He said that he had hoped to be succeeding like the speaker was in only a few years. And he said, "How long did it take you to prepare that speech for tonight?" And our friend said, "About 60 years. Well, like the businessman, your experiences improved with age. As you became stronger at the work that you were assigned, you became more effective with your coworkers and your students. I'm sure some of you feel the same as the businessman. Your contributions were meaningful, and they came about through new learnings and were shaped by years of your experience. We thank you for growing with Cherry Hill, growing with our students and our community. They have benefited from your contributions. We appreciate your efforts, and we will miss you. Also, I, like Faith Jerome, hope that your retirement is only another transition to making contributions in a new way. Thank you, and God bless you.
I have the pleasure of presenting the first retiree. Elaine Tallada, would you please come up? As many of you know, Elaine has been a special education teacher's aide at Malberg for the last 10 years. And it takes a very special person to work with the special types of students that we have at Malberg. Her students say that Elaine cares for them as if they were her own. Her staff members describe her as gentle, sweet, and a helpful person. Her supervisor and principals say they will miss her friendship, her camaraderie, and she'll be remembered for her sense of humor, her honesty, and her contribution to the morale of the staff and the enjoyment and the progress that the students have made. Elaine plans to travel to Alaska, California, Florida during her retirement and to spend time decorating her home. On behalf of the Board of Education, Elaine, my best wishes in a wonderful retirement, and I wish you the best in your travels. I'd like to present you with a certificate of appreciation from the Board of Education of Cherry Hill. You also have a certificate and a copy of what has been your description here tonight, and I wish you the best, and I'd appreciate if you make the rounds and shake everybody's hands. We'd like to congratulate you.
Could I ask Mrs. Vivian Coy to join me, please? Vivian Coy retires after 11 years of service as a teacher aide at James Fenimore Cooper Elementary School. Vivian began her position on a temporary basis, but her love for children and their growth and development turned it into a long-term career. Her students know her as a kind, considerate person. Her colleagues note her for her willingness to help out whenever possible. Vivian's supervisor comments that she was well-liked by many, often receiving complimentary remarks from parents and students alike. During retirement, Vivian plans to enjoy her home and family. Vivian, thank you for your efficiency and untiring commitment and devotion to the students at Cooper. On behalf of the Board of Education, best wishes for a happy retirement. And let me present you with your plaque and your certificate. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Would Claire Deptula step up here, please? Claire Deptulip retires after 13 years of service as the secretary to the Director of Adult Education at Cherry Hill High School East. Claire has been a conscientious employee, always keeping a well-organized office. Her supervisor said, Claire's positive interaction with the adult school students was an asset to the program, and they were fortunate to have her services. During retirement, Claire plans to travel and also to run in a marathon. Claire, on behalf of the Board of Education, thank you for your dedicated service and best wishes on your retirement.
Would Mary Weiner please come forward? Mary is retiring after 15 years of service as a transportation driver in Cherry Hill. That's about as tough a job as anybody can have driving one of those buses. Her fellow employees will remember her Irish wit and, more importantly, her dependability. The students she's transported will remember her friendly smile every morning and her happy personality that brightened up their day. Mary's retirement plans allow her to spend more time with her husband, Tom, and their 7 children, if you can call that retirement. She also will have more time to attend to her husband's marine functions. Mary, on behalf of the Board of Education, we wish you a happy and healthy retirement, and we thank you very much for your service. I'd like to present you with a plaque as a part of our appreciation and also a certificate.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
When they cut down Route 70, construction work began back
I ask Mrs. Rosemarie Frederick to join me. How you doing? Rosemarie Frederick retires after 16 years as special education teacher aide from the Cherry Hill school system. Her colleagues appreciate Rosemarie's pleasant, supportive personality. Her students note her as a patient, caring individual. Rosemarie's supervisor said she has been an efficient and cooperative assistant, adding that she loves children and gives her heart to them. Rosemarie's retirement plans include travel with husband Carl, activities with her family, and doing more gardening and home crafts. Rosemarie, your friends in the Cherry Hill schools will miss you. On behalf of the Board of Education, we wish you a very enjoyable retirement. Thank you very much.
Our next recipient is Mary Jane Carmen. Could she come forward? I think one thing you ought to realize as we go through this ceremony is every employee of this district is very lucky. They're members of a family that are part of one of the best school systems in the state of New Jersey. And no matter what your job is, I think we all take pride in that. I know I do on the school board, and I think everybody who's put in 16 years must feel that way. Mary Jane retires after 16 years as a transportation driver. As a driver for Cherry Hill Schools, she's appreciated for her friendliness and dependability, and I think if you look at your performance evaluation, that's probably a couple of the most important things you do as a driver. Like most of us, she has a life outside of her job. The mother of 3 children, Mary Jane plans to travel with her husband Phil during her retirement. She also plans to paint, draw, and spend time with her 2 grandchildren, and while anxiously awaiting the arrival of the 3rd grandchild. And for Mary Jane, we thank you for your dependable service. On behalf of the Board of Education, I'd like to give you a certificate and the plaque and wish you a happy and healthy retirement.
Thank you very much.
Lillian Klein. Lillian, please. Good. Lillian retires as an elementary guidance counselor, and any elementary guidance counselor, I think, has to have the patience of Job. At the Johnson School and the Mann School after 18 years of service. Her supervisors have said that Lillian is a highly organized individual with a very fine sense of responsibility, and her organization and cooperativeness obviously will be missed. Lillian's colleagues note her assistance in working with individual students and with groups of students to help improve their own personal self-esteem. Lil will be remembered for all her cooperation with her staff, her good organization, her excellent participation in what we like to call the total team concept. Lil's plans for retirement include returning to the University of Southern Florida for an advanced degree in counselor education. And Lillian, on behalf of the Board of Education, we wish you a healthy and happy retirement.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All the best. God bless you, Dr. Levy. And Lil, for a vote. Thank you. Your expertise in the district. That's right.
Our next recipient is Teresa DiTilio. I'm not sure how you appreciate how the schools are kept clean, but I do. I've been in schools late at night, early in the morning. I know that between when things are cleaned up and when kids show up in the morning, sometimes people make a mess of things, but our schools are great. You know, they're clean, they're well done, and I think Teresa deserves a lot of credit for that. After 18 years as a housekeeper with Cherry Hill School System, Terry has also always provided students with a clean environment. Her co-workers note her pleasant personality. And Terry's supervisor said Terry has always been dedicated to her job and to the school system. On behalf of the Board of Education, I'd like to thank you for your commitment and wish you a happy retirement.
Claire Malotsky, please. That's it. Well, Cousin Claire. After 25 years of teaching, Claire is retiring as a teacher for the basic skills and the talented and the gifted students. 8 of these years were spent at the Stockton Elementary School. Claire's always felt that she had the best job in Cherry Hill with the best kids in Cherry Hill. Claire will be remembered for her unique ability to supervise and organize children going in 6 different directions at least in one time. Though she'll miss it all, Claire feels optimistic about her options and about her future. She'll have to tell me all about that. So on behalf of the board, the family, and everyone, we wish you the best, healthy, happy, exciting retirement.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Don. Here you go, sweetie. Let me, we've been giving out a lot of plaques, and I'll take the liberty. The plaques read, from the Board of Education, the Township of Cherry Hill, presented to, and then, of course, the individual's name, in appreciation for 19 years of service to the children and the citizens of Cherry Hill, June 1990. Okay. Thank you, Claire. Thanks, too.
It says Vivian Streep in the program, but I know her as Betty. Hello, Betty.
Hi,
So good to see you. I'm sorry it has to be this way.
I am too.
Vivian Street retires after 20 years of service as a physical science teacher at Cherry Hill High School East. Vivian's colleagues note her congeniality and school spirit. Her students say she is a loving, caring, organized individual who taught them how important good self-esteem and a sense of values are. Her supervisor said, Vivian brought knowledge, humor, and integrity into the department and maintained it throughout her entire career. During retirement, Vivian will travel to Portugal, Spain, New Zealand, Australia, and other exciting places. What do you plan to do for the second year?
I can't think that far ahead yet.
On behalf of the Board of Education, of course, we wish you a long and happy retirement.
Thank you, Faith. I hate to see you go. I hate to go. But I think it's
Now, before you go, I'll present you with a plaque in appreciation for your 20 years of service, but I don't want you to leave. I want you to stay here for just a moment. I'm going to jump out of order, and I'm going to call Elaine Cooperstein. Would you come and join me, Elaine? And I'm calling Elaine up here because I have seldom seen these two ladies apart. They're almost always together. Elaine Cooperstein retires as a math teacher after 24 years of service at Cherry Hill High School East. Elaine's students said she's very demanding, but always fair. Her coworkers regard Elaine for her depth and breadth in planning and her attention to detail. Her supervisor said Elaine is a self-motivated teacher who will be very difficult to replace. She always incorporated new technology into the curriculum. During retirement, Elaine plans to travel and spend more time walking, hiking, baking, and gardening, and aren't there grandchildren?
3.
I thought. Of course, on the behalf of the Board of Education, I wish you best wishes for a wonderful and fulfilling retirement. Here is your plaque and your certificate. And I just wanted to say that both these ladies will be so missed by the Home and School Association because by their own wanting to be there, have been at every home and school meeting that I have been to, and I know 3 times more than I have been to. They have a strong commitment and have always had a strong commitment to the students at Cherry Hill East, have always sat at those meetings and given very valuable input as to what the teachers felt on issues and how the students felt, because after all, they were working with them every day. And I know there were times when, I can remember in particular, when the Home and School Association wanted so much to try and beautify Cherry Hill East, the outside of Cherry Hill East, and had very few funds. And I know that Betty volunteered some of her students to plant some flowers around the marquee. I remember that one year. And I know that you will be truly missed at those home and school meetings as well as in the classroom. Thank you so much, both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Allow the board to-
Albert Saulnier, Jr. Albert Saulnier retires after 20 years as a physical science teacher at Cherry Hill High School East. Albert's students appreciate his ability to relate his experiences as a pilot to all areas of his expertise in the earth sciences. His colleagues have valued his integrity and sensitivity. His supervisor said Albert has always been the resource person concerning earth science. Al will be remembered for his curriculum contributions, assistance to coworkers, and support to others. On behalf of the Board of Education, Albert, we thank you for your commitment and contributions and wish you well during your retirement.
Henry T. Kozinski, please. Henry retires after 20 years of service as a social studies teacher in the Cherry Hill school system. Henry's patience, concern, and willingness to praise students' efforts have afforded the students a wonderful social studies education. Colleagues note Henry particularly for the positive, warm environment he created for the special education students. His goodwill and fine personal qualities will long be remembered. Retirement plans include reading, gardening, and traveling with his wife, Edwina. Henry, on behalf of the Board of Education, thank you for your commitment and best wishes for the term of retirement. Betty Wolf, please. Betty retires after 21 years of service as a fifth grade teacher at the Johnson Elementary School. A little personal note, I taught fifth grade for about 10 years, and so I can understand some of the things you experienced, but I'm looking forward to my retirement in about 8. Her principal said, Betty has been supportive of children, parents, and fellow staff members. Students note her for the individualized attention she gave them. As she retires, staff members will miss the bagels Betty brought in every Friday morning and the poetry she provided for the gatherings. It must have been some school. Betty and her husband Milt will be moving to Carlsbad, California to be close to their children and twin grandchildren. She also plans to visit grandchildren in Vermont. Betty, thank you for your conscientious, dedicated service. On behalf of the Board of Education, we wish you an enjoyable and healthy retirement in California.
Thank you very much.
Would Paul Corolla please come forward? Paul, or it's little Paul that you're called, retires after being a head custodian at the Thomas Paine Elementary School for 21 years. It's said that Paul's caring nature is exemplified by his constant willingness to get balls off the roof for the students and to shovel snow from the cars of the staff. The little things that people remember. His principal has said that little Paul cared deeply for people, frequently developing creative solutions to handle problems. He also added that little Paul has been essential to Thomas Paine's past and present, and most of the people at the school seem to think that he knew the Patriot personally. Paine will not be the same without him. Paul is in a position where he generally does not get recognition. As a custodian, the only recognition one generally gets is when there's a problem, when the job isn't done. And it's a credit to Paul when I say that he has not had that recognition until tonight. Paul will be remembered as the first and only head custodian for 21 years. Paul, on behalf of the Board of Education, thank you for your commitment and best wishes to a happy and healthy retirement. And I'd like to present you with a certificate of our appreciation and also a plaque appreciation for your service.
Would Elaine Hogeson please come forward? You know, one of the disappointments in the position I hold is that I don't always get a chance to get to know you fine people until very late in your careers, and sometimes not even until the evening of your retirement. And though I may see the faces around the building the few times I get in there, I don't really get to know you. And that is a disappointment. Elaine Hogeson retires as a fourth grade teacher after serving 21 years with the Cherry Hill school system, most recently at the night school. Her fellow colleagues know Elaine as a pleasant person with a constant smile. Her students regard her as a teacher who always had a keen interest in their activities. In 1989, she was selected for the Governor's Recognition Award representing night school. Her principal said Elaine's suggestions were well thought out and took into consideration everyone's feelings. Retirement will be spent with her husband, John, children and grandchildren, and Elaine plans to travel. Elaine, on behalf of the Board of Education, we extend best wishes for a happy retirement. Have a ball.
We will.
And a copy. And everyone like this.
Would Benita Schlack come up, please? Benita, or Benny as she's known to many of you, retires after 22 years of service as a French teacher in the Cherry Hill School District. She began her teaching career in the Coles and Earlton schools and then went on to Carusi Junior School and Cherry Hill High School East until her retirement. She has also served as an exchange teacher of English in France. Benny's supervisor has said, "Benny will be remembered for her kindness and thoughtfulness. She took an interest in her students and colleagues and was always willing to offer help." Benny doesn't intend to be inactive during her retirement. She intends to continue her activities with charity in the church, camping, traveling, and remodeling her home. She will also substitute teach and tutor and spend more time with her husband, 5 children, and 3 grandchildren. Benita, on behalf of the Board of Education, we wish you a happy and healthy retirement, and perhaps we'll see you back again as a substitute teacher. I'd like to present you with a plaque. And
Marie Gimme. That's it. How you doing?
Fine, thanks.
Good. You sure?
Positive.
Positive? Well, come right up here, young lady. You got, well, hey, there are certain priorities that are much more important. Marie Gimme retires after 23 years as a developmental physical education teacher, and I have to say, probably the best official in South Jersey, okay, in the entire Cherry Hill school system. Marie is noted by her students as a caring, dedicated, and vigorous teacher. Her effervescent, cheerful disposition and her commitment to the field of physical education is remembered by her colleagues and by her students. Various supervisors call Marie as a dynamic, excellent, competent teacher and a model for young adults. Marie plans to continue her caring for others, even during retirement, by doing volunteer work, reading to children in hospitals. She'll also spend quality time with her grandchildren. Marie went through a lot of fun times with my children for a lot of years from Cole's days, and it's just very special when you can experience the experience of the words that people are saying, how she had in fact influenced children, young children. So Marie, on behalf of the Board of Education, thank you for your commitment, your enthusiasm, best wishes for a fulfilling a pleasant and a terrific retirement.
Thanks.
We love you.
Thanks.
Think like that.
Thanks a lot.
Has Mr. Ed Moore arrived in the audience? Mr. Moore yet?
Is Linda Zalewski here? Is that right? Like Dr. Esbrand said, in the number of years that have gone by, many things have changed, and guidance is one of them. 25 years ago, when I went to my guidance counselor, he gave me the Cooter Preference Test, and that test indicated that I should either be a farmer or a circus performer. Nowadays, guidance counselors do everything. Thank you. I'm still a circus performer, yes. Nowadays, guidance counselors do a lot more. It's social, personal, educational. It's a very difficult job. I think guidance counselors touch more lives than most teachers have the opportunity to do. And after 25 years, I think somebody retiring deserves a lot of credit, especially my own children going through Cherry Hill East. Linda is appreciated for her students, by her students, for her warm personality and willingness to listen to them. Her colleagues recognize her for the time and energy she devoted to her profession. In 1983, Linda received the Camden County Counselor of the Year Award. Her supervisor said, "Linda has demonstrated true professionalism in working with students, parents, and staff, and Linda will be remembered for helping many students solve what they thought to be insurmountable problems." And I think although she'll have fond memories of Cherry Hill, her plans are to travel and eventually move to South Carolina with her husband, Donald. And on behalf of the Board of Education, I'd like to thank you for your dedicated service.
It's with mixed emotions that I call on Carol Schaefer, please. In the mid-'70s and the early '80s, my two sons had the opportunity of attending Barton School and having the opportunity of being in the classroom all year in 5th grade with Mrs. Schaefer. So it's a pleasure for me tonight to read this. Carol Schaefer retires after 25 years as a 5th grade teacher at Clara Barton Elementary School. Carol is appreciated for the deep, caring, and warmth that she has displayed to each of her students. During her time in the Cherry Hill District, Carol has distinguished herself with her wonderful sense of humor and her involvement in various activities. Some of these activities include CHEA and bowling and PTA representative, and when I served as PTA president of Barton, we worked together on many different projects. Her co-workers noted Carol as a caring, fun-loving individual who enjoys life. During her retirement, Carol plans to spend her time playing golf, bridge, and traveling. Carol is heading south to spend her winters in Florida. Carol, thank you for all you have given to the students in Cherry Hill, and on behalf of the Board of Education, we extend to you our sincere wishes for continuing success and happiness in the future.
Patricia Ann Burns, please. Patricia Ann Burns retires after 25 years as a Spanish-English teacher at Beck Middle School. I started out as a Spanish teacher, and it was because of a Spanish teacher in my old high school that I got interested in this profession. And I can appreciate, from a teacher's standpoint and also a pupil's standpoint, the difficulty of teaching the subjunctive tense to people who don't know what that is. Pat is appreciated by her students for sharing the experiences of her world travels with them. Her supervisor notes that Pat has taught students with fine instructional skills in each subject, whether it was Spanish, French, or reading. She will long be remembered for her dedicated career serving the students of Cherry Hill. On behalf of the Board of Education, we thank you for your dedication. Best wishes for many happy, satisfying years of retirement, which you will spend on arts and crafts and enjoying the outdoors.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. Would Carol Burnett, please, accompany at the podium, please? You know, ladies and gentlemen, it's a privilege. For those of you who do not know Carol, you've missed a wonderful person. This school district is going to really miss Carol. Carol is noted for her friendliness, her kindness, and her willingness to extend herself. And I know that she has touched the hearts of so many students during her career. And if I may, I would just like to read a little bit about Carol. And believe me, what I'm about to read doesn't even touch what she has done for and to this school district. Carol Burnett retires after 25 years as a history teacher at Cherry Hill High School West. Carol is described by her colleagues as always smiling and ready to lend a hand. Carol will be remembered most for her outgoing friendliness and concern for fellow staff and students. Carol's students note her personal interest in their well-being. Carol, on the behalf of the Board of Education, we thank you for your dedication and your service to students and the community. We wish you well during your retirement years. And Carol, I personally would like to thank you. Okay. And if I may, I would like to extend that honor by presenting you with your plaque and your certification for a job well done in your career.
Thank you, sir.
Aaron Grossman. Hello, Aaron. Aaron Grossman retires as department chairman. the Media Center at Cherry Hill High School East after 26 years of service. Wow. Aaron's supervisor and East Principal Jim Gallagher said Aaron has provided leadership and technical expertise that will be difficult to replace. Students note Aaron and his staff's availability and the services they perform for them in the Media Center. His colleagues note that he has always been there to help them with the daily, quote, emergencies. Oh, that revolve around equipment and printing needs. Oh. Aaron will be remembered for his friendly smile and his willingness to go beyond the call of duty to provide services for the staff. Aaron's retirement plans include doing some commercial photography and film producing. It's your own business, isn't it? Let's give a plug. What is the name?
Ideas and Images.
You said
Ideas and Images.
Ideas and Images. On behalf of the Board of Education, of course, we wish you well, a long and happy retirement. I'll miss that smile and our friendly little chats when I come into East. Enjoy your retirement. Here's your plaque, service of 26 years, wow, and your certificate of appreciation. You're welcome.
Would Mrs. Virginia Crowley please come forward? You know, this is a problem. I always have to say, hello, Mrs. Crowley. I know no other way to greet this lady.
I'm Ginny to you
Just
now.
okay, Ginny. Way back in my Latin background, the phrase in loco parentis pops out of my head. That is what every teacher is. And this young lady here is that in spades. I remember at the old Cole School, her caring direction of my 3 young children, something I will never forget. That was some crew, wasn't it?
It was easy with his kids.
Virginia Crowley is retiring after 26 and a half years as a 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade teacher at Kilmer School. She has a total of 31 and a half years of teaching experience. Virginia is appreciated for her sincere friendliness and rapport with parents, students, and staff. Her co-workers note Virginia's professionalism and generosity in her teaching. In her spare time, Virginia is a lector at Queen of Heaven and also enjoys gardening. I bet I do a better job.
I'm sure you do. I'm quite amateur.
During her retirement, Virginia plans to travel, relearn piano, refinish furniture, and visit old friends. In her retirement, she also plans to spend more time with her 5 children and 4 grandchildren. Wow. Thank you for your distinguished service to the Cherry Hill School District. On behalf of the Board of Education and of every parent that's ever had their child in your class, we wish you a very happy
Thank you
retirement.
very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I believe that the person that we're about to call up, everyone here surely recognizes this person. To me, I'd like to say that she symbolizes to me like the queen bee. And if anyone you know about the queen bee, it protects the turf. And if anyone comes around that turf that doesn't belong, that queen bee will sting you. I would like the opportunity to have Joan Katz please join me at the podium. Indeed, it is very much a pleasure to be able to stand before you this evening and actually give recognition to Joan. One of the reasons that it gives me such pleasure is that I graduated from Cherry Hill High School West in 1965. Joan and I go way back. I can remember watching her going down the corridor. Matter of fact, one of the things that I remember the most is my wife, who was in her Spanish class. And we ended up getting married. And since. But no, Joan has been remarkable. And she's going to be greatly missed in Cherry Hill Township, and especially in the community, especially in the school system itself, because Joan has extended herself so beyond more than one could possibly imagine. And she's given a part of herself and continues to give a part of herself. Let me just say a few words about Joan. Joan Katz retires after serving 27 years in Cherry Hill schools, the last 9 as principal of Cherry Hill High School West. Joan's work as principal has been significant and her accomplishments are many. Under her leadership, the atmosphere at West has been positive and enthusiastic. During her tenure, Joan implemented many programs for students, including the Student Assistant Program, the Peer Support Group, in-school suspension, Saturday school, the STARS program. Did you have any other time, Joan? Computerized writing lab, a proficiency-based foreign language, just to name a few. The Assistant Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Richard Surface, said, quote, Joan has encouraged staff and students to do their best and to seek a vision for the future. Joan has given a lot to the community, and we are most appreciative. Joan said her 27 years in Cherry Hill have been exciting, wonderful, and fulfilling. She added, I leave with cherished memories of caring students, supportive parents, and inspiring colleagues. Whether you work with Joan as a Spanish teacher, a guidance counselor, an assistant principal, a secondary supervisor, or principal, you came away with a good feeling that here is an intelligent, loving person who cares about education. Cherry Hill, especially in Cherry Hill, and especially caring about the students of Cherry Hill. Joan plans to keep busy during retirement, teaching at college level, traveling, spending time with her family in Israel, Florida, and moving to Guadalajara, Mexico in 1992 with her husband, Sonny. On behalf of the Board of Education, Joan, we thank you for your many years of dedication, service, and we wish you happy and a happy retirement. And I'm honored to present you this plaque and your certificate for your many years of service, and believe me, that is not enough.
He's a tough act to follow, but this is a very special person that I call up now. Reds Jordan, please join me. I know that tomorrow night he'll get his just due, but I hope I can do a little bit of justice tonight. You know, it says here about 27 years of service in Cherry Hill, but I don't know if Reds knows this, but I remember him back in the 40s. I was very little. My brother attended Camp Wyomissing, which was a Big Brothers summer camp. And although it says here 27 years of service, I think Reds has worked with young children all of his life, and certainly I know him back in the 40s with his service at Camp Wyomissing. Reds retires as assistant principal at Cherry Hill West after 27 years of service. West students note Reds' warm, loving manner. His colleagues love his winning smile and appreciate his concern for their well-being. He has been a role model for students and faculty alike. Reds' principal and supervisor said, quote, "Reds has been a joy to work with every day, always dependable and always considerate. He will be remembered for his charm, his loving manner, and his positive attitude, all the time positive." In leaving, Reds said he believes that people are what matter in education and in life. Quote, "The people in Cherry Hill have made a difference in my life, and I hope that I have made some small contributions in theirs." During retirement, Reds plans to travel and work as a volunteer in the juvenile court system. On behalf of the Board of Education, thank you for many, many years of dedicated service, and we wish you the very best for a healthy and happy retirement.
Could I ask Anthony DeSalis to join me, please? Anthony DeSalis retires as a mathematics teacher of 27 years at Cherry Hill High School West. I believe he is most renowned for his calculus course, which is known far and wide not as honors calculus or advanced placement calculus, but as DeSalis calculus. Tony's students said, I stole that from you. Tony's students said he has the ability to prepare them for challenges of high-level mathematics. His colleagues note his commitment to education and his students. They praise his willingness to assist in writing programs and training staff in new computer developments. His principal said Tony is a true professional, infusing his students with tremendous motivation. Tony will be remembered for his expert teaching of calculus and for the development of original computer management programs in the Media Center. Tony's plans include teaching at Camden County College. I think I first was introduced to the name DeSalis now about 14 years ago when I was a struggling graduate student at Temple University and was dating a young math major who eventually became my wife, and has always maintained that Mr. DeSalis is absolutely the finest teacher she's ever had on any level, high school or college or graduate school. On her behalf and on the behalf of the thousands of students that you've introduced to the world of calculus, Tony, and on behalf of the Board of Education, we wish you a very happy and fulfilling retirement.
Anthony Stagliano. You know, it says here Anthony Tony Stagliano. I only know him as Stag, so if it's okay with you, that's how I'll refer to you. Stag retires as teacher of health and physical education at Carusi Junior School after 28 years of service. Tony coached many sports teams, including wrestling and football. He was also the creator